Young Thug has finally struck back and gotten his revenge on Gunna in a way that has left the entire hip-hop world speechless. Because after being given the silent treatment when Thugger tried to publicly apologize, and even dropping a heartfelt apology song that Gunna coldly ignored, it now appears Thug flipped the script and pulled the ultimate power move, as just days later Gunna was suddenly taken into custody with no details revealed, a move that many are calling proof that Young Thug had vital information on Gunna all along and decided to play his final card, proving once again that betrayal in this industry never goes unanswered, and what unfolds is a tale of loyalty, silence, pride, and revenge that exposes just how dark and messy the rap game really is when friends turn into enemies. Please do not forget to like this video, share, and subscribe to this channel if you want more updates like this. Thank you. Now, let's get back into the video. To really understand why this feels like one of the most shocking betrayals turn revenge stories in modern rap, we have to rewind and revisit the complicated, twisted history of Young Thug and Gunna. For years, Gunna was Thugger's right-hand man, his protege, his little brother in the game. Thug didn't just co-sign him. He actively carried him into the spotlight, putting him on songs, bringing him on tour, introducing him to the culture, and handing him a platform most artists only dream of. Gunna's melodic flows, his ability to blend trap with smooth delivery, and his authenticity on the mic made him an instant fan favorite. But everyone knew behind Gunna's rise was a shadow of Young Thug guiding him, protecting him, and giving him the credibility he needed to stand tall in Atlanta's crowded rap scene. When Thugger got hit with a massive RICO indictment, it shook their entire YSL empire to the core. Associates started flipping, whispers started spreading, and loyalty became a rare commodity. And that's where Gunna shocked the world. When Gunna entered his plea deal and walked free, fans and even fellow rappers began questioning his loyalty. Was Gunna a snitch? Did he cooperate to save himself? Or was it just a smart legal move? Opinions split right down the middle. But one thing was undeniable. Young Thug didn't take it lightly. The silence from Thug's camp regarding Gunna's release said it all. There was tension, distrust, and the kind of bad blood you can't just wash away with a statement. And then came Thug's apology song, a track filled with pain, regret, and coded messages that felt directed at multiple people in his circle, but especially Gunna. The song painted a picture of a man willing to put pride aside and make amends, showing vulnerability in an industry that thrives on toughness. But Gunna, he didn't flinch. No shout-out, no repost, no verse in return. Just silence. That silence was deafening. To Young Thug, it wasn't just disrespect. It was betrayal. How do you ignore a man who built your career, who stood by you when the world doubted you, and who's fighting for his freedom in court? Charleston White and other commentators had already pointed out that Thug's olive branch to Gunna was being overlooked, but no one expected what came next. Just days after the song dropped, Gunna was suddenly taken back into custody. No charges revealed, no details made public, just whispers that something big was going on behind the scenes. And immediately, all eyes turned back to Thugger. The speculation was instant. Did Young Thug finally decide to pull out his trump card? Did he have dirt, information, or connections that allowed him to turn the tables on Gunna? Was this Thug's way of saying, "You ignored me, you left me out to dry, now deal with the consequences"? In the core of public opinion, it didn't take long for narratives to form. Fans began piecing together the puzzle, pointing out that Gunna's release always seemed too clean, that maybe Thug knew something the rest of us didn't. If Gunna had compromised Thug in any way, or if he played a role in the cracks forming in YSL, it only makes sense that Thug would eventually retaliate, and to have it happen so suddenly, right after an ignored apology, made it seem less like coincidence and more like a calculated chess move. Young Thug has always been known as more than just a rapper. He's a strategist. His entire career has been about pushing boundaries, taking risks, and surprising people. From his fashion statements to his unconventional music style, Thugger thrives on unpredictability. So when fans say he might have orchestrated Gunna's sudden downfall, they're not just making wild claims. They're pointing to a consistent pattern of Thug always being 5 steps ahead. If loyalty means everything in the streets, then betrayal means war. And Thugger seems to have declared that war quietly but decisively. The industry reaction has been intense. Some are calling this the ultimate payback, saying Gunna deserved it for turning his back on the very man who made him. Others are warning that if Thug really did have a hand in this, it proves the rap game isn't just entertainment. It's dangerous, cutthroat, and fueled by power moves that play out like a real-life crime drama. Social media exploded with memes, with some mocking Gunna's silence now that he's the one behind bars, and others painting Thug as a cold mastermind who waited for the right moment to strike. But let's not forget the human side of this. At its core, this is a story about two men who once called each other brothers. They shared stages, money, fame, and dreams. Now, they're reduced to whispers, silence, and what looks like revenge. That transformation is heartbreaking. It shows just how fragile relationships in this industry are. One minute you're inseparable, the next minute you're enemies. And it's not just about music. It's about trust, freedom, and survival. Young Thug's supposed revenge on Gunna also serves as a cautionary tale. Charleston White and others have long said that hip-hop's obsession with street codes and loyalty is a ticking time bomb. Eventually, someone always breaks, someone always flips, and someone always pays the price. Gunna walking free while Thugger sat in a cell was already an imbalance that the culture couldn't ignore. But now that the tables have turned, it feels like the scales of justice, street justice, have balanced themselves, even if only temporarily. Looking ahead, the fallout from this will be massive. Gunna's reputation was already shaky after his plea deal, but being taken into custody again, especially if people believe Thug had a role in it, could crush his credibility for good. On the other hand, young Thug, who was once being written off as a fallen king, is now being seen by some fans as a man who refused to go out quietly, a man who reminded everyone that you can't play him and walk away unscathed. And yet, the tragedy of it all lingers. Imagine if Gunna had simply responded to that apology song. Imagine if he had picked up the phone, had the conversation, and shown loyalty when it mattered. We might be telling a completely different story right now. Instead, we're watching one of the most powerful partnerships in Atlanta hip-hop history collapse in the ugliest, most destructive way possible. This is more than just a rap beef. This is a Shakespearean tale of betrayal and revenge, played out in real time, with real consequences. Gunna's silence lit the fuse, Thugger's revenge lit the fire, and now the entire culture is watching the explosion, whether Thug directly orchestrated.